Okay, boys, we're recording.
Ready? Okay, cool. Ready?
Queuing title card. Hi there. My name's Adrian, and welcome back to the Casual Pitchside Reporter. Today, we are previewing UFC 96 Las Vegas, which starts at the usual 4 a.m. South African time. This evening, I have with me the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world, Ross, brother Gaia, Cupido. What are you wasting, bruh?
What an introduction there, AD. Love it, brother. Love it. Feel
Gotta
the
be on
love.
it there, bruh.
Yeah, now
But
I'm
yeah,
good,
last
thanks.
but not least, we also have Papa Jetson, aka George, Jedi Knight.
Yo.
What are
Thanks for
you
having us,
wasting,
bro.
bruh? Boy,
All
it's an
good
honor
in the
to have
way.
you guys on the show. We got a very
Thank you.
exciting
Thank you.
card to get into. So,
Absolutely.
guys, first of all, at the top of the card, we're gonna go to the middleweight division. It's Jared, the killer, gorilla,
Mm-hmm.
Cannonier against Kai the Natural Borralho. Cannonier coming into this card with
Mm-hmm.
last fight lost to Imavo, first round TKO, controversial stoppage, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
Also, only lost to Adesanya and Whittaker in the division. He comes in at a big underdog at 3-1, fighting the Natural Borralho, who is on a 13-fight win streak, 6 fights in the UFC. Of course, beating Paul Craig his last time out. So,
Yeah.
going to get to the analysts now. Ross, what are your thoughts here, bro?
Very interesting fight. I think the fight definitely favors or the stakes are a little bit higher for Caio Borralho coming into this one. I think if he wins this fight, he definitely puts himself up in the middleweight division in that contention spot where he could maybe fight his way into a title contention, maybe another win. But he first has to beat obviously someone that is very, very tough in Jared Cannonier. One thing about Cannonier, which I think may pay dividends for him in this fight, is he's got a very good ability to sort of mix up striking and grappling. He can switch at any point in the fight. And we see that when he fought against obviously the likes of Strickland, Vittori, and Brunson as well. The thing with him, I just want to correct you. He got TKO'd controversially in the fourth round, not the first round, and he was actually winning the fight round 1, 2, 3. Um, so it was quite. He was quite combative and showed why he's quite on top of the food chain in the middleweight division. So going into this one, the thing about why I would tip it towards Cannonier, I think his experience. The only thing that makes me concerned about him in this fight is that it is a 5 round fight, and Cannonier in his last couple of outings had looked to gas out towards rounds 4 and 5. So let's see what happens into those championship rounds. But if I think if he's able to utilize the boxing exchanges and to sort of mix it up with the takedowns to throw off Borralio's striking patterns, I think he gets a very good chance he gets it done, possibly by decision in the five rounds. With Borralio, 16-1, very very good striker as well. When it goes to the ground, He's got good submission offense as well. But his takedown defense is what I want to highlight here, which is 77%. And I think that's what's going to be tested in this fight. Is if he can keep it standing. If he can keep it standing, he stands a chance. However, Cannonier is the more active striker, so he does throw a little bit more of an output per minute, whereas Parral is a little bit more measured, has this lunging jab with the southpaw stance. Um, so if he keeps it boxing, he gives himself a fair chance. But I mean, he's going to have to expect some takedowns coming from Cannonier in this fight. If I can pick a winner, I think Cannonier because he's the more well-rounded fighter. My only concern is his age, and can he keep up the gas tank going 5 rounds again?
All right, so Ross, you're rocking it in with Cannonier for the victory.
Yeah, 5 round decision.
Jada, how are you feeling about that? You agreeing or seeing it a bit differently?
I think Canon. Nah, I don't know, bro. I don't think so. I think Canon is gonna have to do a lot of grappling and wrestling to win this fight. My opinion.
Yeah.
So the first 2 rounds, I think, is going to be the toughest 2 rounds for him. And it's also the most dangerous round.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll see how he does with that. I think he might get knocked out. He might get stopped in
Cannonier.
the rounds. Yeah, if he if he if he doesn't assert like the grappling dominance, you know what I mean?
So,
Because
as a betting man, who would you go with here, Jet? Sorry to interrupt you there.
who would I go with? I'd probably go
Mm.
with Brazil with Braulio.
Yeesh.
Yeah, probably go with Braulio with stoppage in the second round.
Second round.
Heavy, heavy.
That's a big call, Jed. That's a very big
Kenya,
call.
Kenya has to kind of put some fear in Braulio because otherwise, like I see him fighting pretty confidently, and I feel like he's probably thinking he's gonna walk through Cannonier.
So, how do you think Cannonier does that? How does he put the fear into this brow who's been on a tear now?
He's
Does he
on.
utilize the wrestling, or can he
Yeah,
do it
he's got
purely
it.
by striking, or what do you think?
Nah, I don't think he's gonna do it. If it's gonna go into the striking, it's gonna be like he's gonna be. It's gonna go tit for tat against a guy that he's faster, has got better range, kicks better. Cannonier's gonna lose if they're gonna fight.
Mm, mm.
Standing up. I think he has to get a takedown or grapple him in a way that Braulio start finding it dangerous. You know what I mean? Where if I get taken down, it's going to be hard for me to get back up. Or if I get taken down, I might get, tapped out or something like that. Otherwise, it's going to be like Cannonier trying to catch him coming in. You know what I mean?
Short
Mm.
elbow. Short elbow. He
Elbows
likes to throw it. Yeah, it's one of his good
is
moves to
coming
defend.
in. Because
Yeah.
Braulio wants to land in from like,
Yes.
he like will
Yes.
stand just and he won't like walk in and fight you. It's more like he
Mm-mm.
darts in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
That's difficult to fight against, but it's also easy to time.
Mm.
You can see, okay, dude's gonna jump in now.
Yeah.
Um,
Forward
then,
jab.
yeah. So I think it's gonna be like that. I think Cannonier has to be smart and then get him kind of like timing his entries, not
Yeah.
Cannonier's in timing Braulio's
Borralho's.
entries. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
think.
doesn't. He's gonna get knocked out, bro.
Ooh, I don't know, eh? Cannonier is tough.
Yeah, I think what Ross said about the age definitely got me speculating. Cause yeah, bruh, Borralho has been on a tear, bruh, and he looked good in his last fight. So
Well,
yeah,
13 fight win streak for Borralho and 6 wins in the UFC. It's undefeated in the UFC right now. 5 wins.
yeah,
5 of those are knockouts. Look, the
yeah.
one thing
So
about Borralho is he stays southpaw. He doesn't necessarily switch, right? And we haven't necessarily seen him take on fighters that chop the legs with calf kicks. Cannonier is very
Mm.
good at doing that from both stances, and he does switch quite frequently through the fight. It's something to watch out in this one as well. So I do think Cannonier is going to look to chop the legs, especially coming from the
Mm.
orthodox versus southpaw stance. You can expect that to happen in this fight.
mm. So Jade, you still gonna go with the Borralho win?
I think I'm still gonna go with Borralho. Yeah, I think Cannonier has to really assert like a real strong top game, and I think that might be a bit difficult against a guy like Borralho. He's not the same like Strickland. Like I
Mm.
know Jared Strickland, and Strickland is like he's in the top now,
Yeah.
but it's a very different style. He doesn't jump around and run around the
Mm.
cage, do all
Mm.
kinds of stuff and throw kicks from way out. Yeah, he does the T kick, but
Yeah.
Braulio's got a different kind of kicking game. You know what I mean? Not as
Mm.
good as a top level kickboxer, but he does kick a lot and he does box a lot.
Mm.
So it's different to what he's faced. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
different to like Montoya or like I say,
Yes.
who is gonna not move around as much and kind of dart in and out, and it's kind of a little bit unpredictable. But as I say, you can time him because he comes straight. He's going forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. It's not like he's going to the side and then coming in. He's like forward and back. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if Cannonier gets knocked out unless he manages to, you know, make like tire this dude out and
Yeah.
survive the first rounds.
I think
Yeah,
Borralho might tire Cannonier out. If it comes down to that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Cannonier needs to like get him in a like clinch him in a way that he's defending more in that first 2 rounds than Cannonier's trying to run away from him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Cannonier's rather hold on to him and force him to defend, not like trying to win the round or anything or trying to do damage, but it's more just trying to make like overload his thinking in a defensive style can make him tired out quicker than what he would if they were fucking boxing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm worried about the age too, though, bro. Because
And I think
Cannonier is like 40 now, right?
I'm not sure.
He's
I think
41.
if they
41, bro.
grapple, the cardio is going to favor Cannonier than what it would favor Borralho when they're standing. That makes sense.
I don't know, bro.
80's like,
41, bro.
look, is one thing I want to add, and my last thing that I'll say about this fight. I do think that Borralho has got a more clear-sighted path to the title at the current stages in the two gentlemen's careers. You know what I mean? Is the UFC going to give Jared Cannonier a title shot if he wins this fight? Probably not. Probably gets Whittaker if he does win. Caio Borralho is at the moment he's starting to become quite a hype train, and his fans. He's got a lot of hype and views around him. So you can bet that he's bringing in numbers, and he's hot. He's new in the division, so you know what I mean. It's just more of like from a business sense for UFC. I think if he wins this fight, they're probably going to cater to his needs for a clearer path to the title shot than that of Cannonier. What I'm saying is that that's going to be a good motivator for Borralho. You could expect him coming in with fire.
Agreed. Jada, any final thoughts here before we keep it moving?
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be a styles kind of fight, high level thing. I don't think it's gonna do a decision. I wouldn't bet on it.
All right. Hope so. All right, guys, we're going to keep it moving now to the women's strawweight division. We have the veteran Angela Overkill Hill at 39 years old, coming for 2-fight win streak. What I've heard is arguably the best she's ever looked in a last fight. Last time out, she beat Pinero by first round sub. And she's fighting against 10 years of junior Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci, who beat Tisha Pennington last fight by split decision. And this is a pick'em at 1.9, gentlemen. So, Ross, what are your thoughts here? Is that fair?
I can see why they would say it's a pick 'em fight. Both fighters have got attributes that can sort of get the fight done. What makes it even is that neither one has really established themselves as like really standout fighters that has gone on win streaks that we can say, listen, this one is dangerous because she's the internet went out there. For this fight, I'm gonna lean towards Angela Hill. Because of the experience, I've watched her through the Ultimate Fighter. She does have a good ability to mix up strikes and grappling, get the clinch to the cage, throw some knees, throw some elbows. She's not afraid to get to the ground and utilize some submissions. In this fight, she does have a little bit of the length advantage. She's got more reach, so you can expect a lot of tip kicks coming from Angela Hill. Tip kicks thrown in the jab, looking for the elbows, and like I said, pressing Richie up to the cage. One thing that Angela Hill's going to have to not do is show Tabitha hips. Tabitha is short, she's stocky. She looks to grapple. Most of her successes come from submission wins, 2 in the first round. She does. Both women are quite active when they're striking out in the open, in terms of their strikes land per minute. Angela Hill is a little bit more of the favorite in that regard, so she does look to be the one that's a bit more creative and pushes the fight forward. I think in this fight, Angela Hill's just going to have a little bit of the speed advantage, the experience, and the length. And I don't think she's going to play into the game of Tabitha, which is going to be the wrestling. So for me, Angela Hill gets the win, 3-round decision.
3-round decision, you say?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jedi, your thoughts here, please, sir. You agreeing
Yeah,
with that decision?
I definitely think decision. These ladies, judging by their record, they don't have a lot of finishes. You know what I mean? A lot.
Mm.
Both of them just kind of go to decision often, but I feel like they've both been kind of just outside of the top five. Kind of like we were talking about Dan Hooker
Mhm.
last week, where he's like, every time he fights somebody really in the top five, he loses. And I feel like both of them are in that kind of range.
Mhm.
And if I look at their past opponents, they've got two fighters in common, which is Pennington and
Mm.
Loopy,
Yeah,
which
Godinez.
is yeah, and the one has beat the one and lost to the other one, and
Mhm.
it literally is the opposite for
With Torres. I mean, Pennington.
yeah, yeah.
Someone
Like, you
say
know what I mean?
Torres.
Angela Hill beat lost against Loopy, but
Yeah,
beat no lost against Pennington, but beat Loopy,
yeah.
and Richie beat Pennington, but lost against Loopy. So it's a kind of an odd thing, and I
Mm.
think either one. It's one of those fights where whoever wins this one is going to push their stock into the top five. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know who's going to win.
So you
I'm
say
going
it's
to go
fair for
with
it to be a pick 'em here?
It
yeah,
is. I would say so.
100%.
I would say so too.
Sorry, Jedi, who are
I'm
you
gonna
going with here?
Brazil again.
Hill,
The beat
Yeah.
Richie. No, Brazil.
You're gonna
Brazil.
go with Richie. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go with
going with
Richie. That's mad, bruh.
I
Angela
can't get you
Hill.
guys to agree on anything here today,
Angela
bro.
Hill. Angela Hill. She's got 17 wins, 13 losses, right? 5 wins by KO, 10 by sub. So like I
yeah,
said, I've
but
watched her. She does utilize the realm of mixed martial arts a little bit better than Tabitha.
if Tabitha takes it down, it's game over. I think, bro.
I think Tabitha's
Because
a
I've
little bit
watched
stronger,
Tabitha
yeah.
for a long time. I've watched her for all her life in the UFC, and I know that she struggles against people that can grapple and tap her out.
Mm, mm.
She's easy.
That's
Not, I
true.
won't say she's easy to tap out, but if you look at the most times that she's lost, it's always in a decision or a tap out, and it's always against somebody who
Yeah,
wrestle.
yeah.
So if they take it down, I'm sure she's obviously worked on that because she knows that's like the kryptonite. Every time somebody takes me down, I fucking lose. So I have to get better there.
Mm.
But if you're fighting somebody who's like a genuine black belt, then you know what I mean?
Okay, so basically you guys are disagreeing again. Ross going for the veteran, Jedi going for the younger person. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nightmare here for a parlay, guys. I must say, you're making my job very difficult here this evening. So if we could start getting a bit of unity here with the picks, please, boys, I'd appreciate that.
Let's see how
But
the fight
anyway,
card goes.
let's keep it going, boys. Jedi, you been following the Ultimate Fighter at all?
No,
No, not at all. Okay, well,
no.
I guess Ross will have to guide us through this one. We have Ryan Loader
Mhm.
taking on Robert Valentin. The
Mhm.
Swiss fighter Robert Valentin is starting at as the favorite
Yeah.
at 1.5. Ross, is that a fair statement? Fair odds, you think?
Absolutely. Just watching these two guys at the Ultimate Fighter, season 32, that is Alexa Grasso taking on Valentina Shevchenko. And these two gentlemen, they well deserved to get to the final. Ryan Loder was on Shevchenko's team, excuse me. He is Division 1 American wrestler. This guy coming out of Team Alpha Male, so he's got that Uriah Faber, that esque of wrestling. The guy's very aggressive at it. Competent boxing. When he's on his feet, he can box. He has gotten some wins from strikes and then got the guy down, in immense ground and pound. His fight in the semifinals was against Amran Shaiban, who's also very, very good striker in the middleweight division. I expect to see Shaban come into the UFC in the future for sure because he's very young still. But bringing it
Nice.
back to wrestling, my only concern here is that Robert Valentin coming out of Swiss, right? This dude is an absolute killer. His first fight in the Tough House won within like the first 6 seconds by an elbow against an elite kickboxer. Forgot the gentleman's name, excuse me there. But after that knockout, he was so successful that he ended up becoming a second coach to Alexa Grasso on the Ultimate Fighters. He was coaching her team with her, which was absolutely insane because he's also still a competitor in the tournament. But then, coming into he's on a 4-fight winning streak, 3 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission. Very, very creative submission specialist, as well as the striking. And like I said, winning by an elbow. His semi-final fight was against Paddy McCordy, who's also a very good striker coming out of Dublin, Ireland. And they became very good friends on the Ultimate Fighter House, and they fought in the semi-finals. And was a very close fight up until where Robert Valentin just started to use his experience, use the aggressive wrestling, get the fight down, and then a very very slick submission, almost like a reverse Kimura, but using his legs. It's absolutely insane. So I can
Sick.
understand why the bookies are giving him a bit of the upper hand here, or the favorite, because he is the more of the, how do I say, he's the more diverse finisher. He doesn't only just use the wrestling the way that of Ryan Loader. I think he has more tools to be successful in this fight. So I expect Robert Valentin to be the one that's successful in this UFC Tough 32 season final.
Mm. All right. Well, I guess we'll keep it moving. That fight, of course, taking place in the middleweight division.
Yep.
Ross, a fight that we had a bit of controversy with earlier this afternoon, whether it was happening or not, because it was on the card and then it wasn't on the card, was this one. The
Yeah.
Australian Khan Olifi fighting against the
Hmm.
Brazilian Myron Santos. So
Hmm.
yeah, Ross, again, you're the only one really in the know here with the Ultimate Fighters. So please give us your
Yeah.
thoughts here and who do you think gets the job done?
Okay, cool. So I'm not too sure what the bookies are doing on this one, but if I would bet, I would probably give it to Marlon Santos, and I'll explain why. So firstly, let me start with Khan Offley. So also on team, no, he wasn't on team Shevchenko. He was on team Grasso. Young fighter, 31 years old. He's got a good record, 11-2, 1 win by knockout, 6 wins by submission on an 8-fight winning streak before coming into the Tough House. So you can expect this guy to have very, very aggressive wrestling. Submissions mainly using rear naked chokes and guillotine. So he looks to wrestle mainly. He doesn't often you see this guy standing on his feet. His semi-final fight, he fought against Rudy Roots from South African Polokwane. And no, yeah, Polokwane. He's from Polokwane. So fantastic fight that was. But Rudy Roots just made a very much of an amateur mistake and gave his head, but caught in the guillotine. But took nothing away from Khan. Khan's up there. That dude's a very good wrestler. I think he might be mismatched against Myron. Myron's very young, he's only 24 years old, 14-1. Jed, you would like this guy a lot because he's very much reminiscent of the hype right now in Carlos Prates. He's got a very similar style, incredible forward pressure, very good takedown defense. I think he's got a 90% takedown defense. He was also on, I think, 12-fight winning streak before he lost his before he took his first loss and then went back on the winning train again. Sublime finishing rate. And also he fought against a fighter named Guillermo Torres, who's Olympic wrestler. Get this, Olympic wrestler, and he couldn't take Martin Santos down. Martin had him on the feet all the time. Kept Guillermo going backwards all the way, and lands some slick jumping knees, good kickboxing, wonderful deep kicks. Dude is just very elusive, and also had a messed up weight cut. Came into that fight and didn't look tired at all. So you can expect Martin Santos to have the youth, have the bit more of the more tools on the feet is probably what's going to get him the victory here. I don't think it's going to go to
Mm,
a decision. I think Martin Santos gets the job done in the second round, if not third round finish for sure. Because
nice.
I don't see Khan grappling Santos. He showed in the whole division that it's difficult to take him down. So I expect Martin Santos to be the Ultimate Fighter featherweight division champion.
Nice. Sounds good. Sounds good, bro. Ross, informative as always. So yeah, boys, I guess we'll keep it going then, and we're going to move on now to Mr. Magdad himself, uh, Neil Magny, the Magdad,
Uh,
the
the
Haitian
Baghdad,
sensation,
yeah.
coming off a win against Mike Mallet.
Mm,
Perennially
mhm.
inconsistent in this division. and he's fighting against Michael Morales, who is on a 16-fight win streak, 4-fight win streak in the UFC. Last fight against Jake Matthews, where he won a unanimous decision. And I have to let you guys know that Neil Magny is coming into this fight as a 7-1 underdog, Jedi. What are your thoughts here? Jetson, I think he's in shock, bro.
I don't know if you can hear us.
Jed!
Uh, internet is very, very slow here.
Hey, what did you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah. I'd say the internet is tricky.
No, we can
I
hear
don't
you,
know, I
bro.
don't know what he said.
You said the internet's a bit funky.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can you
I think
can you hear
it's,
me now?
yeah, I think we're breaking up on his side, but we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, Ross, why don't you, in the meantime, while Jedi's trying to sort out his technical drama there,
Yeah, not a
give us
problem.
your thoughts.
Not a problem. So you were mentioning Neil Magny having a sort of an up and down record in the UFC, he's struggling to get like a solid winning streak, right? However, I want to highlight something about him though. He does have the perfect blueprint to be a gatekeeper for the division if you think about it, because the man can strike. He's got 29 wins. He's got 12 losses. So he's got a lot of experience. He can wrestle really well, and he pushes the pace on a lot of fighters. A lot of his victories come from out wrestling or outworking his opponents by keeping them going backwards, keep them guessing, almost depleting the gas tank of his opponents, which usually leads to his finishing. You know what I mean? Which is either submissions or knockouts, or usually by strikes. But Neil Magny, like I say, has got the perfect blueprint for fighters that's coming up into the welterweight division. I mean, he's fought against, like you say, Mike Malott, who was a hype train, completely stifled that guy's dream. He has to go back. He fought the likes of Jeff Neal, beat Jeff Neal, he beat Daniel Rodriguez. The only people that he really lost to is people like Gilbert Burns, Ian Machado, Gary, the guys who are quite skillful in the welterweight division. Neil Magny, like I said, is just a high volume output, high wrestling output kind of guy because he doesn't really get tired. So what I'm trying to say is that those are the attributes which are going to be are the attributes that what you would kind of look to beat someone like Michael Morales, because Michael Morales again 16-0, 11 wins by knockout, 7 of those in the first round. So this guy looks to put people away. I know I'm using Prates as sort of like a default way to describe the style of fighting, but that's just what he is. This guy has got that style, very poised, likes to take the center of the octagon, looks to switch up stances, throws very good boxing combinations, and he gets in tight body shot, left hook, throws up with the right hand, and then he stays in the pocket quite often. What I'd like to see though is what can he do once he gets wrestled, once he gets put up against the cage, once he's in the clinching positions, and that's where Magny does most of his best work. But Neil Magny has to close the distance first, and that's when Michael Morales looks very dangerous because he puts people away. A lot of power, strong jab, speed, and he's just jacked for the division. So good style, good styles. This is a good stylistic matchup. I look Neil Magny to utilize the wrestling to get the win, because if he doesn't utilize the wrestling, he's not going to deplete Michael's gas tank, and I think Michael's going to that's when he's going to put his best work in. So if Nomag doesn't wrestle, I think Michael wins by a finish, probably second or third round, or even in the first round, because that's when he's very, very dangerous. I mean, like I said, 7 first round finishes. But Neil Magny definitely has to utilize wrestling if he's going to want to win this fight.
Mm. Jedi, can you hear us? Jedi? Nah, this man's audio is still blocked out. But
Still, the internet is fraught, bro.
There we can hear you.
can you hear us? Fuck. Nah. Anyway.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
You still can't hear us.
Nah. Anyway, my prediction is Brazil.
He's not from Brazil. He's from Ecuador.
Yeah, on that note.
But same
let's
region,
keep-
same region.
On that note, let's keep it moving, boys, to an all-American fight here, so there'll be no confusion. We've got Edmund Shabazian taking on
Yeah.
Gerald Meerschaert.
Yeah.
Um, Shabazian 13 fight, 13 fights, 11 first round finishes.
Yep.
Last fight was AJ Dobson, also a first round
Hmm.
finish. He comes in as the favorite. Gerald Meerschaert, extremely experienced, 36 pro fights, and his last fight against Brian Bobera, he won
Yeah.
by second round sub, yeah, and he comes
Yeah. He
in
did.
as a 3.4 underdog.
No
So yeah,
surprise there.
Ross, how do you think this one's gonna go, bro?
I'm not surprised by those betting odds. That's just based off like the overall theme of how these fighters have been fighting. Gerald is just has had a very up and down sort of career in the UFC. Although he looked very good against Bam Bam Barberena, he looked really good in that fight. His thing was on point. That's like the classic Gerald Meerschaert that UFC is used to seeing. But he's coming up against Edmund, who is he's the youthful fighter here. He's coming from the contender series, and you can't argue with 11 first round finishes. And the guy looks to get it done by KO or submission, and then very elusive, very hard to take down. And he's not afraid of taking it to the ground. But you can expect Edmund Shabazian to keep it on the feet because that's where he does most of his best works. 52% striking accuracy, 63% takedown defense. So if he can stifle Gerald's best work, which is wrestling, I think Edmund's going to get the fight done, probably the first or second round for sure. One thing I also want to point out is that Edmund, he beat the hype train in this middleweight division Masirin Imavov, because everyone's hyping this dude up. And
Mm,
Shabazian did beat him by KO. He fought the likes of Manson, Branson, like you mentioned, his last fight against Dobson. He also got that one by KO. So Edmund, very slick striker, utilizes very a lot of deep kicks. Shabazian, not Shabazian, sorry, Gerald. If he usually was on the back foot, like most guys on the back foot, they usually don't really win the fight. So I think Edmund, if he can apply the forward pressure, which is what he's good at, and just look to stifle the takedowns, he's got a very good chance to win. And that's probably why the bookies are tipping it towards Edmund being the out and out favorite in this one. And I agree with
mm.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned he beat Imavov, who's all the rage it seems
Yeah,
these
isn't
days.
that other guy?
Yeah,
Did
Jed?
I?
It's
Isn't
very
this other
slow,
dude like security guy?
Gerald.
He's part of like the bouncers there that walks the fighters out.
Oh,
Who?
is it?
What?
Gerald,
That is
Gerald,
mad. That's
Gerald
mad.
yeah,
Meerschaert,
I think so.
he walks the fighters out.
I want to show you.
Yo,
Oh,
well, I love a promotion, bro. Um,
he's
it
like a
just shows
security
if you
man.
stick in the business for long enough, bro, things can happen.
Yeah, yeah,
The man's onto a pro fight. But anyway, boys, now
He's
we're gonna take it to
security.
a new segment.
yeah.
This is a segment I like to call as a betting man, and I'm just going to share with you guys the picks for the parlay thus far. So from what I've heard in our episode today, we'll start with Ryan Loader.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Ryan Loader as a result. In terms of how he gets it done, Ross, what are you thinking here?
You picking Ryan Loader to get it done,
Sorry, Valentin. Sorry,
Valentin. Yeah, yeah.
Valentin. Yeah.
I look to see Valentin to stifle the takedowns of Ryan Loader for sure. Keep it on the standing, and then just piece him up, piece Ryan Loader up because Ryan doesn't like to strike. He looks like a fish out of water when they're in the stand up game, and that's where Valentin. He's a very good all rounder for sure. I don't think he's scared of grappling. So if he stifles Ryan Loader's grappling, that's his best attribute taken out of the fight completely, and that's
Mm,
why I would say Valentin gets the job done. Um, I think he finishes Ryan. I think he finishes Ryan because he goes for it. He never goes for decision at all. He goes for finishes.
okay, so they don't have odds on money line yet. But
Okay.
anyway, let me just go back here. Okay, so let's get back to business here. So yeah, we got Valentin at the start of the parlay. I think you pretty much convinced me here that
Shabazian.
Shabazian's the way to go here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Jedi, can you hear me? Nah.
He
Okay.
can. It's just delayed. I'm sure he can.
Okay. So
He's just waiting.
Morales is pretty much locked in. Not even worth really betting on you. I would just ask you about Neil Magny. Is he really are these odds accurate for you?
Um, I think that just might be fishing people to start betting on
Real
something
Magni.
here because I don't think it's that overwhelming, to be honest. It's not that overwhelming. Fights will be closer than what the odds are showing there. Um, if I think people are doing that because they're probably thinking that Morales is going to get a knockout in the first round because he's that aggressive and he's got that much power and speed. But like we've seen in the past, fighters that are that jacked, they got a lot of lactic acid to carry, and when they take on suffocating wrestlers, and Neil Magny is a suffocating wrestler, I can really put Morales on the back foot and could potentially lose the fight over 3 rounds. So I
Mhm.
think it's a lot closer than what it is. But I can also understand why they're making the betting odds that scary.
Yeah, it's almost not even worth it to put a bet on Morales here, bro. So might just
Yeah,
leave this one out. I'm thinking
yeah,
about doing something degenerate and going with Magni just because the odds are so crazy, right? You've kind of like convinced me with this wrestling angle, and I think there might be something to that because we have seen in the past with strikers,
yeah,
bro. If somebody is able to close the distance and
yeah,
make it dirty, that's usually a very
yeah,
difficult night for someone
yeah.
as like proficient in striking as Morales. So what do
Especially
you?
is
Yeah.
especially sorry, AD, especially fighters that are carrying that much muscle mass. You know
Mm,
what I
mm.
mean? And also elite strikers. As soon as they get taken down, you deplete the gas tank of that muscle, and they often don't have the same pop in their striking if they're lucky to get up to the standing again.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So you've convinced me. I'm gonna
They
go with the
obviously
deal.
think Neil Magny is gonna lose hard here.
Jedi, what are
That's
you
what I'm
thinking
saying.
here? Can you hear? Love to get your thoughts here, bro.
And I think
What do you think?
I would take a bet on Neil Magny.
I
Yeah,
like it, bro. I like it.
yeah.
Fortune favors the brave. So we're gonna go with
Because
Neil
dude,
Magny,
it's
some
like,
degenerate
why
stuff,
is
yeah.
he? Yeah.
Why, why is he
Plus,
what?
dude, none of us even know who Morales is.
Yeah, I watched
But
tape on
he's
him.
got
He's
a
4
oh,
0. He's 4 0 in the UFC, and like I say, 16 fight win streak, just knocking people out. Look, we must
hmm,
highlight also that Michael Morales does have a in the UFC recorded a 92% takedown defense. And like I was saying, Magny's best attribute to winning this fight will be wrestling.
yo,
So that's I'm keen to see how
Yeah,
this fight actually
that's a
navigates
big
itself.
factor, bro. I think that might take me off the bet then.
gee
That
whiz.
stats alone.
But stats
Yeah,
don't tell the full story,
yeah,
but they do tell some of the story.
but you can see, bro, this is very like cut and dry odds, bro.
Um,
They're basically making it impossible for you to bet on Morales and make money unless you're gonna bet like major cash. So
Mm,
yeah, I got them to leave it out, bro. I mean,
okay, that's
fuck it.
probably the
We
safest thing
go
to
we
do.
go we go Neil Magny for, and we're only gonna go $10 here, bro. So might as well put him in.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
locked in. All right. Then I went with Angela Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
Ross, you said Angela Hill, so I'm gonna go
yeah.
with that. The
Look,
Cannoneer fight. Yeah,
before we go Cannonier, Andrew, you said Angela Hill said that this is the best she's looked at in her career.
I've
I would agree with that. And
I've heard
she's is
pundits say the last time she fought that was the best she'd ever looked. I didn't personally see the fight, so
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah. I can
But
agree with that.
that's the word on the streets, right? So yeah, Jedi, you went with Richie here. Are
Yeah.
you locking that in, or you want to change your
hmm.
mind? Last chance.
Yeah, no, I think she's gonna win
Shit. All
submission.
right, guys. So please
Well,
let
not
us know in the
submission actually. Decision.
possible. Guys, let
Because
us
these
know in the
guys
That's the
is
comments
only way
what
very
she
you
hard
can
think
win.
here,
to get a finish.
because these guys can't seem to agree on anything, and it just seems like I need to basically throw a name out of a hat here when it comes to betting. So, guys, please let us know in the comments who you think I should bet on.
I mean, it's a pick
All
'em
right,
fight.
it is a pick and fight, so I can understand the the hesitation and the deliberation here. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Angela Hill. And then this fight, I'm actually not too sure about because, yeah, I don't think
Mhm.
Cannonier's convinced me, bro. I mean, his record speaks for itself, but
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit over the hill, man.
Yeah.
The Angela Hill.
Um. Yeah. Look, Jay, the Angela Hill. Um. Just thinking about the both fighters and where they are at in their careers at this current stage, you would actually tip it towards Borralho to get the win, right?
Mm.
And I can see that 100%. I really can see that. Um, the only thing that's making me believe that that's possible is that Cannonier has notoriously faded in the past coming into championship rounds, and his age, he could potentially gas out. Like Jed said, if he doesn't wrestle within the first 2 rounds to sort of stifle, but he's a vet. He knows how to fight. The switching of the stances, the heavy leg kicks, and the ability to, like Jed was saying, if he can time Borralho's lunging jab entry with a nice right overhand right elbow, I think he dances it because obviously Borralho is jabbing. Actually, you know what? They're fighting in different stances here. So I think if Cannonier can continuously switch his stances here, I think he gets a good chance of winning. Definitely gets a good chance of winning.
Jed, final thoughts on this, if you can hear me. 3, 2.
So final thoughts.
Final thoughts on
Uh,
Cannonier Borralho.
What?
Who's your pick here?
On what?
Cannonier Borralho.
Oh, Borralho.
Borralho.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with Borralho.
I think so too. I'm actually leaning
Yeah,
towards Richie now, so there's a lot of
because he's just going out to really fight. I feel like Cannonier's got to.
This man's hearing my interruption now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cannonier.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna lock it in on Borralho.
Okay. Probably the safest option.
Yeah, that's what the odds would say. So that's combined odds of 38.33.
Nice.
So if hypothetically we put a 10 on that, just a splurge, you can make 420 now. So if you guys
420.
want, if you 420, shout out. So if you guys want to get involved in that, if you have any different thoughts, please drop us a comment. And yeah, we'd be very interested to hear your picks. Let's get rich together, guys. All right, boys. That's pretty much the end of our card. Jedi,
Thank
you'll
you.
probably hear this speech
In the
tomorrow
future.
sometime. But thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks, guys. Everybody,
Thank you.
please don't forget to like and subscribe to the Casual Pitch Side Reporter. We really appreciate it. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the card, and we'll be back next week to recap the fights, possibly. All right, guys, take it easy. Goodbye.
Cheers.